watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something's standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. The hardest won't take me, the highest fall, it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me. I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Welcome back, guys, to the Dangun and also Bitdo show. Once again, my name is Joel, helping you guys with the translations, and with BBQ and Hanwha Live looking like there's no clear winner after Game 2. It seems as Game 3 becomes as confusing as ever who's going to be the winner. We thought that Hanwha Live was going to be the clear victor at that Game 2, but things started off not so great for these guys, and how it all transpired into an eventual loss for Hanwha Live and a win for Game 2 for BBQ Oliver. We're going to find out, and here's a very interesting gank coming in. Just an automatic the flash ultimate from the cannon, and I actually thought that Rise coming alone. Perhaps Crazy was thinking maybe the jungler would have joined in with him, but that wasn't the case at first, and even Rise dying out with that counter gank that came in for BBQ in the end. But we do see how it all came through with all the mistakes. That was the important part of some of those details here. And this was where Hanwha Live obviously started off from Sejuani right around the blue ward, and I can see that the ward was placed on there, the opponent jungle, and as you saw basically after that ward did time out, turned into a zombie ward. Obviously can be broken out and very much visible to BBQ just as much, and Trick, ever since coming to that wolf camp, definitely sees that zombie ward and now knows exactly where everybody is. And at the same time, Hanwha Live kind of took that advantage, took that vision into their sails, saying that the opponent jungler was right around here. Starting from the red and going to the wolves was going to be the expected trajectory, and we see basically from there just another expectation by Hanwha Live that BBQ jungler Trick would go over to the Gromp right away, and we actually saw that would be the third camp that would come through. But in the end, the wolf really, after the zombie ward has been taken out, no information further has been given to Hanwha Live, and eventually turned into a wolf, then to a scuttle crab right away. So now that the danger has been spotted by Trick within the distance nearby, it just meant that other than the virus update, but we're having a good time with that one. But something with the actual game, we're gonna try to continue to talk about this, but we're looking at Trick, obviously, that unexpected movement, that routing from that wolf, not going to the Gromp right away, going back to the opposite river to that Scuttle Crab was the important thing. And we actually saw BBQ in multiple instances other than that play we highlighted as they really did everything to get the win. Very deserved, and the fans are reacting to Ghost with his Israel looking just as good as before and probably from his best days. And we are seeing the best of Ghost today in this Game 2. Can he continue in Game 3? We're going to find out. Before we do, let's get the one-line summary from Bitdo, and something Shy probably said. Gnar is a flop because well, Gnar's a bubble and Dangun says Bitdo's a bubble, but I don't think you guys are a bubble because you guys are doing a good job, and I just send it back to you.
Did he save himself? I can't tell.
You know,
are we safe, by the way? Because Windows Defender looked,
you know, we need to get that. We need to get that up and running. We don't want any of them viruses coming through. Well, Tempt is going to be our MVP. I thought, personally, I thought Trick, maybe with his early pressure being applied, taking away those scuttle crabs, but not to be found. Trick, or Tempt rather, does come up with the MVP win here, tries the Azir yet again in game 2, and does make it work this time out.
I was on the Tempt hype train because he was making things happen at Kilios, and I sat back and watched Tempt have kind of mediocre games, some bad games, but not really any of the Tempt games I remembered, where he could take a game by the, let's say, cojones, and really just win a game straight up. And this was one of those games. It wasn't as flashy as some of the big games, but he actually was the hard carry that we know he can be. So on the occasion that he does it, I stand back and say, good job, Tempt. More of this, please.
Well, BBQ does manage to pick up that game 2 win, which means that we have a third and final to decide who the winner is going to be. Hanwha Life, do you get one step closer to the playoffs? Do fall down the standings, potentially right around SK Telecom T1.
I don't believe they can fall behind in game score, but the match score could be identical by the end of today. So a lot to work on here. Hanwha Life, I think this is a really pivotal game for them. For BBQ, you want to get to 4 match wins and find your way out of the relegation spots. We haven't called it too early for them. They still are very likely to be in those bottom 2. But for Hanwha Life, there's kind of all to lose in this game number 3.
Which is why there's still not going to be any swaps, not going to be seeing the B squad coming back out. BBQ's over onto the blue, and Jace will be the first ban yet again.
Weren't able to do this in game number 2 in the first round, but they themselves were actually setting up for a potential Jace pick and Hanwha Life for the ones that ended up banning it. We'll see how much change there is in the bans in this game number 3.
Still going to be Aatrox, of course, from the red side. We've seen Talia twice on blue, banned away. Do we see that yet again? Or does BBQ try to take it? Force a ban out from Hanwha.
I think red side teams have had more agency in the drafts recently because Nocturne is very much a champion falling through pick and ban, and Talia priority is kind of up and down for a lot of teams, but I imagine would still be snapped up for BBQ. So we'll see what the second ban will be from Hanwha Life. It was Swain in game number 1, and the return to that was a Rakan final ban. Still Xayah Rakan prized as a duo, and might just be a rollback of the bans.
Yeah, it seems like it's just going to be a full repeat here. Unless Hanwha changes something up with this final one, but they've been banning Rakan in both games, so highly likely that we're just going to see it again here. Aren't taking their time with it, though, running down the clock a bit.
Do they have other sites?
Nope.
The answer is no. See what the trade is here. A lot of teams will first pick the Trundle. Could still be the first pick from the side of BBQ, but they're going to first pick Tahm Kench for Ignar. So they have decided that this is the champion to help them with some of their early game rotational problems, and it's not going to be Engage. It's a first pick Tahm Kench.
I mean, he went pretty ham with that, you know, especially right near the end, going in with the Abyssal Voyage, jumping over the wall with the flash, getting the tongue lash, and just helping to lock down Songwon. So it was pretty aggressive.
I mean, you can't take the aggression out of the player, but the Tahm Kench just really is a different style. And Hanwha say it's time to start flexing the good old Orianna again. If you're joining us for the first time tonight, we did have our first bot lane Orianna, so it's not just a Papa Smithy musing that goes unfulfilled like the mid lane Nocturne Vedia style. It is in fact the Orianna bot lane that's been played, emulating Y4 from LGD. See where we go from here for Hanwha Life.
Do they just take the Trundle away from Trick? He's gotten it twice in a row, and yeah, they'll go ahead and lock this one up. So no Kindred here for Songwon. Still going to be avoiding the Nocturne. And they know that the Tahm Kench is there for BBQ, so the likelihood of the Shen being taken away is very, very slim.
Makes sense to go Sejuani as a cleaner answer. Trick has been a really good Kindred, and Kindred is open, but Kindred into Orianna is really asking for trouble. Too often, you'll Lamb's Respite, and Orianna will say, ooh, a nice spot for a Shockwave, and punish you in a pretty big way. So,
okay,
the more reliable Sejuani, and while it may not be the mid lane matchup, BBQ say if you want Rise, you have to take it now.
Trying to force their hand here. So Azir coming back in yet again for Tempt. He's feeling warmed up. Game 1. It's just the rough start.
This should be a Rise for Shen trade. Game number 1, the heist could be enacted for Hanwha Life, but that same heist is not possible. In game number 3, could also just force it to be Orianna versus Azir in the mid lane. Don't know if Lava's been practicing Xerath like we saw from BDD yesterday. So I think BBQ will ban Rise on the blue side.
Well, Ezreal yet again. We saw Varus Ezreal from Hanwha in game 1. Do they just want to attack Ghost again? Try to force him onto something that's a bit less elusive. Had Ezreal there in game 2, played it quite well. Game 1 was the Ashe.
Waiting to see if BBQ do ban that Rise. It's my big expectation. I'd be surprised to see Hanwha Life pull off the same sort of play. They take a lot of time, a lot of deliberation here. Aside of BBQ, their first ban will be the Cannon. Top lane champion pool, once again something to look at.
It might just be the Camille again as this final ban from BBQ.
Maybe they're saying, what happens if we ban Cannon Gnar? When it comes to top lane champion pool, the Cho'Gath, I imagine, would rise way in popularity.
That and the Mundo.
Yep. Does seem like those would be the 2 big picks in that scenario, so I'm a big fan of the Rise ban here.
Playing with fire right now, BBQ. And it will be the Gnar ban, so the Rise is going to remain on the board.
Happy enough to leave it open. Maybe they're thinking no Kindred level 2 gank, and Azir can farm it out and be fine.
Ah, it's an Azir bot lane, clearly.
That would be a step further that I'm not ready for just yet. I'm holding onto the table just because I need some stability after you're trying to rock my world. Rise is going to be picked here because why wouldn't it be? But what will BBQ do with the rest of their draft? Because this should be no surprise to them. It is less priority in the mid lane. Trundle and Rise can do big damage Kindred style, but it's much less reliable. Rise would have to flash in, and probably a double flash would have to happen, and Azir also to severely misplay. So for BBQ, we're looking for Marksman, most likely for Ghost, who has been falling back to them a lot more recently. I feel like Hanwha Life, we'll see what they want to do to close out the draft, but for BBQ, I think going ultra standard in kind of the way we saw in game number 2 would be a nice way to go. Looking for a top laner. Cho'Gath is open. Could definitely consider that. The Mundo is looking safer than most games, but no one's been really playing it recently.
It's fallen away quite a bit.
Would you dare?
Already showing it in game 1. Maybe the Cho'Gath just makes the most sense here for Crazy, but okay.
He's threatening it. Now, of course, Spirit Visage is so powerful against Orianna and Rise as the 2 threats, but Darius is open.
Oh, this is true.
What?
Man, we haven't seen this draft in so long.
The Korean casters are losing their mind, even though it's
out.
the most obvious thing ever. Why wouldn't you go Darius? Of course, Darius is what they're setting up for. That's why I was saying, would you dare Mundo? Because the lane matchup, of course, is open. But Hanindaran is going to return to the Darius. It's one of our first Dariuses this season. I don't think it's mind-blowing, but it is a bit of a change to what they were enacting earlier. And if you find a way to actually build Crazy some breathing room, if he shows up with Sunfire Cape, a Warmogs, and a Spirit Visage, you gotta say, there's definitely a team comp for him to counter in the 5v5.
Orianna bot yet again. So far, 100% win rate in the LCK.
It's true. The sample size is very play-by-play caster friendly as well.
You know?
One and done, baby.
That's about as high as I can count. So, here we go.
Let's
Third and
count
final game, Hanwha Life. Trying to close things out over BBQ. Songyun back over onto this Orianna. Very similar composition. Then you look at the top side of the map. That's where things change up. The Darius instead of the Gnar. The Trundle instead of the Kindred.
And there are some changes also in threat levels for the team of Hanwha Life. They haven't gotten away unscathed. It seems like BBQ knew what they were giving up. If it stays the same summoner spells, it's multiple teleports against Sejuani Ashe, a pick comp. In the early game, the picks could come thick and fast against this Hanwha Life team. The Kindred speeding up the mid lane was a big reason the Tempt was a non-factor, anonymous in game number 1. They went on to win the MVP in game number 2. So if they can stop that from being a variable, if they can allow the Azir a much more safe farming phase, mid-game is looking very tasty for the side of BBQ, and in the late game, Mundo is set up to run at this enemy team and prosper.
Hanwha Life, yet again, going to try to replicate the performance from Game 1, get that accelerated start, and just keep pushing past BBQ, leaving them behind in the dust. See if they can pull it off. They need to. Losing to BBQ would definitely hurt their hopes of making it into the playoffs here for this summer split. Game number 3, guys. Let's see who comes out on top, BBQ or Hanwha Live Esports.
생산까지 30초 남았습니다.
Infernal Drake, a great way to kick things off for this third and final game, Papa Smithy.
Fiery game indeed. BBQ wanting to join Jin Air at 3 match wins and would be only 1 match win away from safety. MVP losing a lot recently with their unfortunate situation with their top laner ADD and his medical emergency. Meaning that perhaps MVP are the one doomed to go down. It requires match wins though, as BBQ with the late invade onto the scuttle. For once there is not vision on the scuttle, and Ignite's like, come on, this is always the way. But teams are getting better and better. None of the things that have happened, the trends we're seeing is a lot of scenarios where for a long time people would rush in and put down the ward and then it would get swept. And now there of course is the sweep the brush meta, and now teams are waiting to put down the scuttle vision, so a lot of twists and turns in that particular meta. We know about the Azir, Orianna, and Xerath mid lane meta. Ryze coming back in to match the Azir, and we even get the new stuff of a second game of this Orianna bot lane against the same duo lane it faced in game number 1.
Well, BBQ will posture forward now, as he takes a lot of damage. Trade a little bit back there onto Ghost, just trying to keep him away from the wave as long as they possibly can.
Ooh, Songwon.
Oh, yeah.
Found a new lane to gank, but will be spotted on the scuttle.
Saw the level 2 gank into mid, allowed them to get that first blood onto Tempt in game 1. Tries it in top, but nice ward in the river. We'll go ahead and keep Crazy safe.
I think a lot of top laners, after watching the VODs of yesterday, are aware of the top lane Trundle level 2 ganks. There was a lot of them yesterday. So that is the recent trend, clearly, in both scrims and also in practice. Level 2 advantage, Orianna level 1, not going to do too much in the trading. So lane supremacy in the bot side. They will certainly have lane supremacy in the top side, while Hanwha, so there's a trade there in terms of the global side. He used heal, but I imagine he's just switching between summoners.
Probably. Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. Wander down into the river there from Songwon, spotted on a ward.
With Unsealed Spellbook, you don't want to accuse too much, because people do like to roll through over time.
Nice taunt, but third shot not going to fire off in time, so Ghost's still going to be pretty okay. The Devour is there.
Every time I see moments like that, I'm reminded of the times when Flash used to pop turret shots and FLICKR ultimates and targeted abilities in general. Tom Kench, please stop it. We're an honest game now. You have to work for your kills and work for your turret dives. FLICKR was really bad back then because people would just flash your ult, and you're like, well, this sucks.
Yeah. The game's a bit different. Trick moving on up towards the top side. Linderong's pretty far forward. The Apprehend's already been used.
And we
now
gank
rounding
him
the
now.
corner, and this is going to be a red buff here onto the Sejuani. Flash over the side for the passive proc, and well, this was just all a little bit awkward.
Linderong outplayed the opening up with the W and also the Arctic Assault, so well played by Linderong. Trick misses everything, and Hanwha Life are here for a bit of a party.
Pushing up, they're going to wait for Trick to come in around. The pillar can come down, they're going to lock him in. Rune Prison going to be used, and Trick is likely to go down for first blood. There you go, the pillar comes in, the overload will connect. Lava gets the first kill of game 3.
Hanwha Life just outplayed Trick there, both in terms of Linderong and also the collapse timing was beautiful by Hanwha Life. Not sure if that was called by Tempt. He did have a blue ward, I believe. I don't know if it was placed before or afterwards, but that's a big play on the side of Hanwha Life because BBQ was setting up, but setting the Darius behind and just having a free lane for the Mundo. The Mundo doesn't die, but the jungler does.
So now Songwon can go ahead and push forward, take away some of these jungle camps. Trick now going to be arriving as the Wolves get eliminated.
He's got no jungle left now as well.
Yep, he throws the bowl, just trying to get a hit, but he just can't do it. They're already gone. Scuttle getting ready to come up here in the top side of the river. Linderong is starting to cheat his way down, just in case he has to support.
does clear the control ward, but it's certainly not going to get positioning onto the Rift Scuttle as mid lane, Lava and Tempt are fighting.
Just a bit of back and forth here. Lava choking up on that last charge of his corrupting potion, trying to keep himself sustained.
Did get the red buff from killing the Sejuani, so the health regen there going to be very useful. Happy to take those more aggressive trades, and Rise has, over time, done well in this matchup. I'm not convinced it's the same exactly as the last time we saw the matchup, because a lot of Rise nerfs are coming incrementally over time. He'll certainly be comfortable enough, and if he gets the roaming gank off, as opposed to the gank that he actually got from the Kindred in game number 1, still going to be good news stories for the Rise.
Oh, we're going to be fine. Back to base here. Songyun looks like he forgot to buy something. On the top of his mana a little bit more, cuts back into the fountain. Now we'll be rejoining in the bottom side of the map.
Lower damage.
He's falling behind a little bit, but overall.
And lower damage build coming through from the Orianna this time. Couldn't go for a Lost Chapter first time. Needs to buy something. So we'll go for the tier first, the Archangels. A bit more about survivability, and definitely not sure if that's going to be enough as the game goes on, if Mundo gets stronger enough.
Pressure on the Executioners from Linderong.
Building for lane.
Yep.
This is what happens. You build exclusively for lane, you go Trinity Force, Executioner's Calling. Depending on your timings, you might get a Phage first, then the Executioner's Calling, but at the 800 plus gold, and happy to go into Executioner's Calling, and now have crazy ults. You just kill him, because he takes a current health damage, and then you just whack him with your big sword, or axe, I guess you should say. Linderong in a really good spot topside, winning hard now, after the extra gold has gone over. Also presence in the mid lane for the Rise, as used to be the way, so it's only bot lane where things are happening for BBQ right now.
I'm looking for the blue buff. Linderong starting to wrap around. Crazy still underneath the tower as they start this one up. Almost leashes back. And Trick doesn't even want to try to push forward to get the smite off. We'll just go ahead and fight away.
Nice to see Hanwha Life and Songwon in particular jungling around priority. They got priority mid, they got priority top, and they're taking away the blue buff to stop Tempt from having too much lane control in mid. It's only bot side where BBQ have the sort of control we're looking for. BBQ, definitely not all love lost at this point. They can farm it out and will feel really good when the Nationals too. The first item is there for the Ashe.
Oh, arrow coming down, Songyun cleanses that one off immediately. Just taking a little bit of harass as the wave moves back up closer to their tower.
That pick threat's going to get big though, Achilles. They did go for the teleports like we mentioned. Only Songyun digressed. He had teleport and the loading screen did change to the cleanse to be able to respect the arrow. There's a lot of good arrow targets on the side of Hanwha Life when the grouping phase starts for BBQ. Until the grouping phase, seems like it's going to be a bit of a struggle for BBQ.
Walking up the river, looking to clear up any vision that's there. Keep himself safe in the bottom side of the map, as well as maybe get ready for that Infernal Drake. Control ward is going to be placed right here. We'll stand for now. TP back into the bottom side. Key arrives, has the heal yet again as Songwon pushes up towards top.
They're going for the kill here. Here comes the turret dive.
That's going to be ult coming through the subjugation in onto Crazy, taking a lot of damage. Will go golden. Songwon has to kite his way back away from the tower, but the dunk is there, and Linderong will take him out. A second kill over to Hanwha Life.
Crazy's flash in the laning phase, game 1 and 3 have been a bit off. I understand why he flashes there, but it's too late. The Q is already registered, so he will die to the dunk. You don't flash the decimate, you die. If you do, might still die. In this case, he goes down, they return to the turret, his teleport is down, and the first turret of the game will go the way of Hanwha Life.
Yeah, as soon as he starts sleeping into the air, it's already over. Curtains for the Mundo, but now Abyssal Voyage into the back trick, going to be arriving. It's a lockdown here with the Glacial Prison. Shockwave comes through from Songyun, trying to buy some time to keep himself alive. Lock up in onto Ignar underneath the tower, pops that Grey Health Shield, and Trick also falls down below half HP. They try to go for the dive, but they can't get a kill. Hanwha Life all stay alive.
They feel like they have to make the play Achilles though, because they were 100% going to lose their top turret. They were going to outnumber. But the Rise teleport is up. It's a very quick respond. They don't get the kills. They don't get the turret. And stay and poke around this area, but Hanwha Life doubling down on the Darius is working out better than this emergency all-in on bot.
Come up short, so still going to be down by 1.6 thousand gold. Turret in favor of Hanwha. BBQ going to be looking for an objective. Still pushing in onto Songyun. Haven't gotten that much turret damage in yet for Ghost, but also doesn't have that much damage. Ram Scepter at the moment.
Arrow is up on Ghost. And the cleanse down on Songyun, the last time we saw that attempt. Still pushing up, once again, as much turret damage as possible in this early phase to try to answer the turret count, but it seems to be very likely to be not enough. Hanwha paths over, and they will not lose the turret in the near future.
Trick playing around the top side at the moment. Hanwha down in bot, just catching the wave here as Songyun tries to wander his way back in. Infernal Drake, not that much vision around it yet. There's a control ward inside the lower half of the jungle on BBQ's side that Hanwha has placed. But otherwise, we haven't seen him start it up yet, but seems like that's going to be the play now. Complete fog of war coming through, so BBQ have no idea.
It's great ordered timing as well. They start the Drake. Previously, it would have been possible because Ghost and Ignar had all the lane control, but they know that Ghost and Ignar backed. They know Abyssal Voyage may be just about off cooldown, but very unlikely to be used with no vision, so they'll get the Infernal Drake for free. Hanwha Life, it's so weird. They have games like game number 2 where they just aren't able to execute on the fundamentals they've shown in 1 and 3, but game 3 is a return to game 1 where they've had a really ordered playstyle. They've played where they were strong, jungling topside, stealing away blues. Their execution on the turret dive has been very good as well. And when they actually start up an objective, it's when they have priority over the objectives. So these are the fundamentals Hanwha Life were not able to show in game number 2. Now they're trying to transfer the Drake into the Rift Herald. That part's a little harder, but with the Darius is strong, they're going to know that if anyone's going to rotate first, it will be the Darius.
Yeah. Well, Songyun not going to be able to try to sneak that one away. Would have known that he was still in the pit. Cannot start up that Rift Herald safely enough.
Songyun down in CS in the losing lane, and knowing his jungler was never going to come top bot side. Ghost throws that ult. I think it was on vision though.
Yeah, arrow comes out, but not going to find any hits. So, thank you very much. There's Lava just goes ahead and walks up the lane, no problem. One engaged threat going to be gone on the side of BBQ. Songyun starts pushing forward aggressively. Going to be a shockwave coming down, only going to be catching Ignar for the moment. Slows him up, he'll flash away, spits out Ghost. And they'll both be fine. But Summoner down, just for that pressure coming in.
Low damage shockwave, but high value getting 2 members. And the full disengage of the Tahm Kench much harder when the Orianna is on his case. So that is flash down from Ignar, maybe a return coming made by Hanwha Life. Speaking of returns, Trundle's still here.
Trick as well, to be waiting in the brush, but this is feeling like a 4v3.
Have to know that Ryze will get here first, and they have to be very careful about this BBQ.
Sitting in the bush now. Trick still here. Songyun takes a hit off that volley. Trick waiting, has Glacial Prison, spots 3. As the Hawkshot does come through.
Hawkshot got massive value, but I think it was pretty clear to both sides that the jig was up, and end result is that Hanwha Life will back away.
Yep.
Attempt free farm, soon to be Nashal's Tooth, but once again, the game kind of happening around the mid lane doesn't suit him. Waiting to see if Tempt can have any ability to recreate a big game 2 on this season.
Well, Linderong has been having a way all the time. Just going to go ahead and help out Songyun a bit by taking that top scuttle. Pretty comfortably up, has the Phage in the inventory. And one of the daggers. As well as just tries to get closer and closer to that Trinity Force. Ghost alone in the bottom side of the moment. Songyun pushing in from behind as they look to take down this tower. If Ghost pushes up at all, he might just get melted. Arrow comes through. Key's going to absorb that one. Cleanse not there for him, but Orianna has her own in case she needs it. Key going to taunt to the side. Gets the Shadow Dash. They're on the Trick, taunting him up. TP into the back now coming down. Songyun barely going to get missed there with that Glacial Prison. Cannot get locked down, but still will get killed. Tempt pushes forward, has the Sand Soldiers out, and manages to take down the Trundle. First kill of game 3 for BBQ, and now they're looking for a tower as well.
Nice assertive bot lane move by BBQ. They did a lot of damage to this turret earlier, but killing's going to be hard.
He goes forward, locks up Ignar, pops that Grey Hell's shield. And a lot of damage from Tempt here. Falls down for about half. Lava starting to shove them back. Will help keep this turret alive. 1,000 gold in the lead at the moment here for Hanwha as Lava just keeps pushing them back further and further, but Trick is waiting in the brush. Can he do anything? He doesn't have the ultimate. Lava keeps moving forward. He's going to flash in. Ignar has to go golden. It's a lockdown onto Trick. He's going to fall down below half HP. Realmore forward to cut the distance down. Finds a double kill here, basically. as Key was able to get the final hit onto the Tom Kench, but Lava putting in so much work for Hanwha Life.
What a monster Lava is on that dive. We never see Orianna and also the Rise together. As what the hell is happening with that Tom Kench there? That was weird.
They stuffed it.
We always see Rise versus Orianna again and again, but this time we see them together. It feels like there was a Lulu with the Rise. He was just able to roll in. The turret dive was assertive, really good Realm Warp usage, and at level 11 we don't always see it using a team fight well.
Yeah.
It was there, and look how much they get off the back of it.
I mean, you say team fight. That was him just going man mode. Pushes forward by himself and just helps take down 2. Good lord. All right, well, Hanwha Life. Lava makes the absolute best out of what was an okay situation to begin with.
Remember, Sungyun has almost no mana at this point. You think, okay, this is over. Already used 1 dissonance, but the 2-second less cooldown means he has it again. Lava flashes in, knowing that if Trick doesn't juke the right way, he's down, but he has Shen ultimate, he has his own ultimate, gets the first kill, still tanking turret, but then goes in onto Trick as well. That's how you come up big for your team. Excellent play by Lava, and they win this game. He's definitely the first name down on the MVP sheet so far.
Yeah, really making a pretty easy argument for that. As BBQ group up, Key gonna be trying to sweep out. The arrow's not gonna connect, doesn't matter. The scoop comes through. They're gonna push Lava in and he will get taken down. Didn't have the flash. Used it in that last engagement, so good turnaround gank here from the side of BBQ, but can they get more off the back of this kill?
Tem says one good turn deserves another, but they have to get the objective like you're alluding to, Achilles. They couldn't get that bot lane turret, they're down. 3 turrets to 0. Getting a structure is so important for BBQ. Haven't been able to get on the Drakes either. It's only just going to be a kill, and that's a trade down overall for the side of BBQ.
See Lava with a solid amount of damage coming through on that Rise already. No objective to be found, BBQ. Still struggling in that regard. 4-2 is the kill count here. Hanwha 3-0 on towers. Trying to move up 3,000 gold. Songwon going to be starting this Rift Herald. Lane BBQ is nearby. And they will just go ahead and peel off this one again as the Scrying Orb comes down.
Playing around the duo lane is a bit more tricky.
Oh, okay, just wants to fight it out that way.
It definitely does leash for a long time, so it's going to be DPS down for now by Songwon. See if a Hawk Shot is sent down. He puts down the control ward just to confirm that he's still on it.
Seems like he might be fine. No way of just range stealing this one out anyway, unless you got really lucky with the arrow from Ghost, but Hawk Shot just a bit too late. Songwon takes that. So now the inner tower's definitely going to be threatened here on the side of BBQ.
First time I think I've seen someone leash the Rift Herald up away from Scuttle Vision and take it safely, but they were able to do it there. A little creative thing that Hanwha Life have done. Complimented for their creative teleport play around that Baron bait yesterday with a strong, 2 days ago with a strong pick comp. So that's another kind of creative thing. Hanwha Life, I feel like they have a very big support staff. They have a lot of support players on the B squad as well. I think together they use those to come up with different ways of looking at the game, and clearly they look at other regions with their bot lane Orianna as well, and that's why they're a team that puzzles us in games like game number 2, where they give themselves a very narrow win condition and then also make mistakes and make themselves look a bit silly, because when they look good, they look really good. Unfortunately for them, the converse is still true, and that's why they just haven't been able to cement themselves as top 5.
This does hurt them. There's a blemish on this record. BBQ taking a game away from them.
Oh, and sometimes you just go golden, I guess.
There's another blemish on this record with Key going golden.
He just wanted to feel pretty for a moment, you know?
Oh, so pretty.
Crazy.
Well, for a couple seconds, he was just gorgeous. He was really hoping that that wasn't on camera.
Maybe he watched GoldenEye and he wanted to roleplay, you know? Sorry, I should say the man with the golden gun.
Yeah.
Just wanted to roleplay a bit. You looked very elegant, Key. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to whatever they're saying to you in comms. It's way harsher than the truth.
Yeah. Another Dragon going over to Hanwha. It's going to be a Cloud Infernal on the way in 6 minutes, so we'll see that around the 25-minute mark. 2 Infernals with the lead that Hanwha have. Would certainly help put them over the edge.
We'll see if Key fat fingers again, because he's put the QSS in the same slot now, so hopefully he'll use that one a bit more skillfully than he used the stopwatch.
Well, not much damage onto this tower at the moment, but with the charge getting ready to come through from the Rift Herald, this thing is going to disappear in a matter of moments. Darius is here. He's got the Trinity
Getting a
Force.
second charge as well onto the inhibitor tower.
Yeah.
Don't see that too often.
Pillar down. Crazy's got to run for his life. The Abraham coming through. They didn't just try to kill him here. Collapse is coming in. They get the charge off. Virtual Prison down onto Songwon. Now the Stand United coming through from Key. Short little hop, just making sure that Songwon was going to be staying healthy. So a lot of damage onto that inhib tower in the bottom side of the map. Unable to take it, unable to get the kill onto Crazy, but they get the flash away from the Mundo.
First thought was to disengage, even though the Shen ultimate was coming in. It's a bit of negative synergy, even if it wasn't a costly negative synergy. The side of Hanwha Life. Rise, very happy to play the side lane and the top side. Trying to keep BBQ from grouping together. We've never seen BBQ enact on the promise of their team comp. A strong pick comp into Azir Ashe teamfight damage. Mundo had to go Sunfire Cape for lane, especially after losing the lane, and the magic resist is still pretty delayed from his side, and there's still a bit of Elo heaven about where the game is going for BBQ. That's a 40-minute data point, and right now, at 21 minutes, extending the game that long probably requires some mistakes from the side of Hanwha Life.
Gold lead isn't as massive as it could be. BBQ, there's a lot of standing gold, obviously, as they haven't been able to take a single tower. If they could get some of those on the board, would help them out considerably, but Hanwha Life maintaining control at the moment. Control wards on either side of the river around the Baron here. Ignar is going to push forward, try to find them. But Hanwha Life are just in control. So like you said, a mistake is essentially what it will take for BBQ to get ahead.
Service showing us just how healthy the outer ring of turrets is for Hanwha Life. The only lane was bot lane, where they were actually able to get a pressure lead. And unfortunately couldn't translate that due to good defensive work from Hanwha Life. Now BBQ standing gold, that's quite hard for them to claim, and also the majority of the gold leaders, that standing gold and those outer ring of turrets. BBQ, slow and steady, they just want to lose the minimum. The Baron threat on the side of Hanwha Life, it's not that reliable, and maybe that's a sign that BBQ will get a longer game time, unless Hanwha Life can find a way to sneak or turn on the Baron. They're going to start it anyway. This will take a while, but for now at least, no real knowledge from BBQ.
Swept it out. Hawkshot might just be coming through soon. Yep, there it is. We'll go ahead, spots this one down. It's already below half HP. Songyun mitigate people out, and the arrow is going to be absorbed by the Shen. Virtual Prison comes down. Connects in on the Songwon, but it's still going to be the spike. Can't get into the pit fast enough. And that's just going to be a triple Realm Warp out the back for the side of Hanwha Life. Nice, clean, and easy. Everyone escapes, and they get a Baron.
Wow, so the Baron damage wasn't the fastest, but the disengage from the Realm Warp was so guaranteed that they say, let's try it, and if we get caught, we can always Realm Warp out. They take the risky choice, but BBQ are 2 to 3 seconds too slow and take the ultimate penalty. Nicely done from Hanwha Life. This could have been the sort of game where they would have found no way to get the Baron for another 10 or 15 minutes. They steal one basically under the nose of BBQ, and now, even in a 5v5, you can look at the Azir and the Ashe and say, with the Baron buff, maybe we're fine.
Yeah, they just hadn't been able to push forward, get that vision thrown down. By the time the Hawkshot comes through, the Baron's already burned down to about half HP. So at that point, as BBQ, not much you can do. So Hanwha in complete control. Still 4-0 in towers, but they're going to be looking for a few more with this Baron in the next 2.5 minutes. Already pushing down into the mid lane.
He has gone for the support dream. Ghost Flash Shen. Ready for some big plays on the engage.
Escaping.
A pick onto the Ashe would be kind of game over. I guess the Tahm Kench probably has to be the target. Linderang's got the Baron buff, and Crazy's already had no fun at all in this matchup.
I mean, if he taunts them both, Lava can pretty much blow up Ghost right now.
It's true.
There's no cleanse for Ignar.
Double Merlinomicon, double Archangels. Songyun and Lava copying each other. Mundo says, guys, seriously, I need some help over here. Doesn't get any, and might just lose an inhibitor. In fact, it will. Why do we have 3 people here from BBQ?
I don't know.
Why couldn't Sejuani be bot side?
Burn this one down. Lava's bringing up inner turret in top, getting ready to fall. Mid, it will crumble. Now 6-0 with an open inhib in the bot side. Hanwha Life.
You know,
crushing the life out of BBQ.
BBQ's macro from ahead. Better than expected. The macro from behind in this one. Really needed to give Mundo something. You shouldn't be losing your inhibitor turret and inhibitor for free. Come on, guys. But BBQ.
I mean, Linderong's looking to do it again.
I know.
The help pings coming up from
we,
Crazy, please,
Can we
somebody.
not have this happening? All right, we got people here.
Okay,
Finally.
lockdown coming through. Songwon getting jumped on. Abyssal Voyage comes in from behind to try to cut them off. Tempt is here, and yeah, I think that Trundle is going to be dead in the end. But again, it comes at a cost. Inner turret in top will be destroyed. And the rest of Hanwha Life will go ahead and start peeling back, it would seem.
To be clear, way better to lose an inner turret than to lose the free Baron, the free inhibitor that they lost on the bot side. So
Sure.
definitely one of those things where you're going to take punishments, but they didn't choose their punishments wisely. Pick your poison is a very famous English adage, and sadly, I think BBQ chose the wrong one. Now they are in perhaps an unwinnable scenario. They have the 5v5 team fight, we've said many times. They have the pick if they're in an even scenario, we've said many times, but neither of those has mattered. Look what Ward put down, but this should be Infernal to BBQ.
Snatch that one up. TP out. Coming through from Ghost,
Okay.
but he cancels it. Okay.
They're just trying to cancel the recalls here, I
He
guess. was
worried about that that apprehend from coming through. Linderong trying to push forward to get in onto Trick.
Oh, we're coming
now
in.
TP's coming in hot. Lava getting ready to arrive. Ash Arrow connects into the face of Linderong and Key. They're not going to be too hindered here. They keep pushing forward. Taunt comes down. Ghost getting chunked out in the back. And it's going to be another kill moving over onto the Shen. Bloodthirsty is he. Comes up with yet another one here in this game. Linderong can go back to base. He's got the TP. He can rejoin with full HP, and Hanwha Life can just go for a win.
They certainly are Achilles. At least 3 inhibitors is the minimum here. Mid lane inhibitor going to go down very promptly. Top lane inhibitor is going to go down soon as well. I think Hanwha Life have done enough to win this series.
It would seem that way. So mid inhibitor falling first. They'll go ahead, off top. Super Creeps pushing in from the bottom side. Hanwha Life, barring a catastrophe, should be able to close the game right here, right now. This Ghost is still going to be dead for a little bit longer. They jump in, look for the pick off here on the Trick. That Devour comes down. Shockwave finds 2. Arius dunk, not going to get the execution, but Hanwha just turn their attention over onto the towers. They burn down the first one. Lava jumped out to half. Songhyun goes low with Tempt alive. Maybe, just maybe, they'll extend this game.
They definitely will. Seems like it will just be a dying defense here for BBQ, but definitely got to try to win every game that you play. Pull away. Hanwha Life too low and the cooldown's down on a lot of their teamfight ultimates. If we saw a reset from Linderong, maybe, just maybe, you can persist on the play. But Hanwha Life have plenty of things to return to. They can even shop and feel even better about their end-of-game items. And for BBQ, nothing on the map for them to claim.
Yeah, really nowhere to go from here. Closest that they'll get is Tempt pushing up that wave in bot. Even then, can't really stick around and try to take the tower. So it might just be a towerless game for BBQ.
Health bar in the bot was the one that was low after the good Ashe and Tahm Kench laning phase, but they've never been able to get anywhere near it, Achilles. They haven't been able to go past the river in quite a while. Have BBQ, and they're getting about half their jungle camps, and not really much of anything else. Hanwha Life push through mid. Everyone's got some sweet items. Lava and Songhyun are so close to having the same items, it's making me uncomfortable, but the Merc Treads are there and the Sorcerer's Shoes are there. Otherwise, it's the same.
Arrow in, connects on the Songwon. Trick comes in from the backside. A lot of damage pushed in onto that Sejuani. Devoured and manages to stay alive as Songwon escapes into the back line. Crazy pops the ultimate. Linderong also getting chunked out. The Azir starting to do some serious work in these big grouped up team fights. But Hanwha Life Esports, they have a massive minion wave with Super Creeps in the top lane, pushing in, getting ready to knock down that final Nexus tower. Shockwave comes through, finds Ghost, he'll get popped. Shen finds another kill. He just taking him away from his squad. Dragged back in here onto Ignar. He flashes out. That's going to be the series. This should be the game. Hanwha Life in onto that Nexus. We'll go ahead and finish it off 6-3, a little bit of a slower pace, but BBQ never really had a chance. We're behind from the get-go. Hanwha Life Esports did not relent. They did not give them a window of opportunity to make their way back through.
Hanwha Life, they're always this team that's better than you remember, but also worse than you remember. They're so close to being a really good team. In their wins, they look like a top 5 team, but in their losses, they look like a bottom 2 team. That's kind of the weird thing about them. They've got so many good points. If they could just chain together the best points and minimize their mistakes in some of the drafts that aren't quite as solid, they'd be up there, maybe even top 4. But unfortunately for now, they do pick up the match victory. They're still a couple of games scored behind the Freak of Freaks. this is not their reckoning. Their reckoning is in the next week when they face Kingzone Dragon X and FLICKR, the two teams just above them on the ladder. If they can put together the best of their moments in this series, they can win both those series, and then they've taken control of their own destiny and made it to playoffs.
Yeah, they've just kind of been teetering back and forth. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Just depends on what day you're watching with Hanwha Life. So this was still a rougher day here around the edges than they would have liked. The 2-0 is certainly what they were seeking, to just get that extra point on the board to get closer to the Afrika Freaks, who are currently sitting above them in that so desirable 5th place spot. But they do get the victory at the end of the day. They move forward and they try to get into the playoff run.
And there are other runs like first place where actually game score might be important because Hanwha play FLICKR and Kingzone. It's much more moot. It is going to be about the head-to-head there for Hanwha. They need to win at least one of those and then have their results go their way. But there's still a chase. I think that chase is going to go on till very late in the season when it comes to the top 5 standings. Looking over the damage dealt, Azir very happily doing damage, the Ashe. When we saw those final fights where there's a 10,000 gold lead and yet BBQ are doing very competitive in the fights, we know that there was a game state where they could win 5v5s.
Yeah.
This game was not about 5v5s. So often it was about how much is Darius going to be able to dunk on Mundo. Apparently in terms of the damage dealt, not too much, but in terms of the effect on the game, a lot.
Yeah, wasn't the fat carry Darius that we see from the likes of Tall from time to time on SK Telecom, but Apprehends came through, they locked people down, the kills came in. Hanwha Life get that victory. We'll figure out who the final MVP of our first series is going to be. We were talking about him at the beginning, and he will go ahead and in fact win it. It's Lava, his 9th win on MVP right now, still in 2nd place, just 1 win behind Khan.
This is, of course, the standings you have to look at to confirm that. Lava and a cavalcade of mid laners. There is also a couple more at 600 points not being reflected here, trying to make it to the top of the table. This was the first inspired play. This was probably the most impressive one, where they read the disengage from Trick and got the kill. They got everything rolling, but this was, of course, the solo play from Lava, who says, I'm stronger than you think. Level 10 Rise, apparently, is when this Rise turns on. And the confidence to flash in, tank turret, but also Realm Warp for the 2nd kill. You get just Ignar, it's just a normal play. But the confidence to also get the follow-up kill, that's definitely showing supremacy over BBQ.
Yeah, wonderful done. Did get punished a little bit because of that flash being burned out, got picked in mid, but otherwise, it was just a great game for him on the Rise, brings it out yet again, and has a wonderful, wonderful performance. So, maybe Rise returning into the meta, a bit more prevalence on that pick.
Got more Orianna, and Orianna all over the map. Apparently a bigger thing to talk about as well. Speaking of talks, we've got an interview with Hanwha Life. SKT playing our 2nd match, waiting. We're going to be a little bit after 8 p.m., but I think we can get the interview rolling on.
I'll be pretty close to our 8 p.m. start time, but let's go ahead and throw over to Joel for our MVP interview. Joel, take it away.
So we're doing interview translation for the day, and we're here with Hanwha Life over BBQ all over. It really was close between the 3 games that they actually played, but Hanwha Life was the better team as expected, and here they are doing the interview for the winners. It really was a back and forth action, but Hanwha Life, how do you feel? I think the last time around we got 2-1, so we were not so happy, and getting a lot of wins without many losses is important right now, so we need a little more 2-0s if we can. And you're now at 900 MVP points with Lava. Are you the team's ace? And all my older brothers are doing so well, so I'm not the one to really say anything. But Lava always tells us that he's doing so good, that's why he gets the MVP points. So when he does this in the interview and he lies about him being humble, that's definitely not the case. You were talking about the 2-1 being not the most happy in terms of result, and I'm sure in terms of the ADC, and feels like the game 1 was totally to the style of Hanwha Life, but game 2, does it feel like maybe the concentration held you back? I mean, game 1 we did well to get the win, but game 2 we do lose our focus, and I feel like we're just kind of letting our guards down, and I think that's something that we want to fix. And since Lava needs to fix that, I think Lava needs to practice a little more.
매섭네요. 네. 아 그래서 확실히 이 미드 정글 듀오가
And with the mid jungle duo, when that game goes well, it's absolute carry and destroying the game with the two of you guys. And do you feel like systematically, do you guys know how to shot call with each other? Whenever we do talk about the CC connection and also the fighting out with the ganks and also the team fight, we do communicate pretty well. And there were many different highlights that we can look at for Hanwha Life and how they got the win today. And how was it built up from here? And basically after that support erased the ward with the sweeping lens that allowed us to get the gank there. And with the Rise W, as long as we got that intact, we knew we were going to get the kill. And for that game, you talk about the gank having so much effectiveness in terms of giving you guys so much advantage earlier in the game. And Orianna was picked up by you guys, but it wasn't by the mid lane. It wasn't by you, Lava, but it was Sangyun who took it up. I think Orianna needs a little work by Sangyun, if I have to say for right now. And it is a little bit difficult, so maybe he needs a little more practice. Sangyun needs to practice his ultimate, it seems like. And let's talk about the Rise being such a big spectacle. And now you're just really just utilizing that Rise very well. Do you feel like you've gone over Sangyun in terms of the Rise usage? Sangyun's Rise is decent, so it's pretty similar to mine. The course needs a little more practice on the Orianna, but let's look at some of the Rise plays here and kind of show an exemplary from just starting off the initiating very well, just W right away, and just going all by himself without the Orianna in back. I mean, we didn't even really talk that much on this one. We were just trying to go forward and trying to get the damage in. We were just telling each other that if we go in a little bit more, we should get a lot of advantage. I actually tried to go for the all-out damage during the scrims, and I tried a couple of times, so I wanted to actually try it in-game, and I'm glad I got that stun. And you talk about that all-out damage, and for Sangyun, he didn't have to do anything because he was just right behind you, just waiting and watching from the stands. I mean, he was telling us that he told us to go in more and more, he just stand behind and watch. It really feels like the mid laner got the help from the Orianna, kind of funny as it is. And the picks and bans were interesting in the fact that with the Mundo, we actually saw that Darius was kind of an automatic reaction pick, and we thought that something maybe he had in life, had in mind in terms of how to do that. We had to just make sure that we had a lot of APs in other lanes, so the Darius had to come out for the AD supplementation, and we had to get that done to just balance it out. And with that, 2 consecutive wins, obviously, and you do say that it's a 2-1 victory, not the most satisfactory in terms of results. I'm sure you guys want a little more out of yourselves. Maybe you want to point that out a little bit. I don't think we've used to be like this, but we're now kind of rushing into things and making haste decision. And I think for the next team, that it's going to be a stronger team. We have to make sure we fix this problem before we get to the next one. And another question is that for the waiting room, you guys are now just waiting and trying to just get ready for that game. But you guys seem a lot more excited. No concentration, no relaxing whatsoever. Just all excited about to get to this game. Do you feel like the team morale is definitely there? I think we're all pretty friendly to each other. We kind of understand each other well, so no need to get any bad emotions. And of course, Sangyun does well to lead that flow, lead that team morale very positively. And it is, in the end, a 2-win consecutive for you guys, and now you guys are hoping to get to that playoff run as much as you can. Anything you want to say to that? We haven't gotten a lot of win points, and we're still in this situation where we need to win against a strong team next on, and hopefully we can get a win against them as well. And with the fans as well, of course, with family, always cheering out. And you want to say something about that? Lava.
오늘 저희 부모님이 오셨는데
My parents came out to watch today,
제가
and
이겨서 다행이고
every time they came out, we always won. But we also thank the fans for coming out in this heat. Really hot day, but still hope you guys just have a great day after this.
승리 인터뷰가
And of course now, another win means another interview, means that another feeling good Hanwha Life Esports as they look towards extending this win streak. But for the meantime, that's going to be the end of the interview. And this was Joe and sending it back to you guys.
Thank you very much. Sounds like Lava needs his parents to come to the studio more often. If he always wins while they're here, could certainly use their support as they get ready to go up against the likes of FLICKR and Kingzone. But a win on the day, a 2-1 win. But we'll get situated and get ready to go to our second series almost on time, Papa Smithy.
That's right, Jinair versus SKT, the Papa Smithy and Achilles 94-minute dream is after the break. Looking at the schedule here, Sunday it will be Hanwha Life Kingzone, next match for Hanwha Life, and then they have MVP into Afrika. So very important week next week. As you can see, Afrika Freaks and Hanwha Life are on 8-match wins. The rest of the pack at 9 and 2 on 10 as well. Seems like, 11-match wins is what you're looking for, I guess, to guarantee playoffs. But for today, we have this one that has brought us many weird and wonderful moments.
I can't wait.
Could we get 95 minutes of gameplay in one game? Could we have 95 minutes or less of gameplay in 2 games? Many different things can happen. Jinair Fighters to Deceive and SK Telecom T1. Who's in that mid lane? Always the question.
Yeah, not sure. Not sure who's going to be in the bot lane. Not sure who's going to be in the top. You know, it's going to be maybe some changes coming through. We're going to find out when we come back from the break. Get your eyes on that timer on the bottom of the screen. We'll see you guys back for Jinair versus SKT in just a bit.
Coming up next, Jinair Green Wings, SK Telecom T1, 2018 League of Legends Champions Korea Summer Split.